So I've come here to the mouth of Samaria Gorge. There was an archaeological survey that was done here back in 2008 and 2009 looking for Mesolithic artifacts, which is not out of the realm of possibility for the island of Crete. However, what they found supposedly is Paleolithic artifacts that might date to around 130,000 years ago as a minimum age, which is incredibly interesting considering that the island itself has probably been separated from the mainland for at least 5 million years. So this means that what they found might belong to, or was the tools made by early hominin species, possibly Homo erectus, which would imply that they came to here by using watercraft, which is interesting. There's a bit of controversy about this study, so we're going to go have a look and try and find these sites at the mouth of Samaria Gorge. So right now we're on top of the mountain. We're going to try and find these particular marine terraces in which they found these quartz artifacts that supposedly look like they're from the Acheulean hand tool tradition. So we'll go and have a look and see if we can find these. I believe we're heading down to Samaria 3. You can see where the hill is kind of terraces off here. So what they found is similar to this in terms of the material. I think because it's quartzite, it's a bit difficult to tell if there is sort of if they fashion this in any way as a formal tool. This would be a flake in any case. But I'll have a look around. I mean, there's pebbles everywhere, so I'm not sure. So yeah, I'm not convinced. I'm not saying it's bullshit, but I believe I was where it was located, or where they said it was located on the map. Did see some quartz scatters, but I don't know if they're artifacts. I think I'm a bit dubious about this claim, to be honest. So we're now at the beautiful town of Rumeli, which is also home to the ancient city of Tarra, abandoned sometime in the 7th century AD, where we have the remnants of it over on the east side of the creek, with a little river that runs next to the town of Rumeli. Gonna walk up this sandy bluff. You can already see that there's some old ceramics just sticking out of the ground. That's interesting, some incised pottery. Yeah, you can definitely see the remains of walls, different structures that were formerly standing, and lots of pottery everywhere. There's a lot of potential if they decided to investigate it again. Also, not a bad place to work. Look at that view. So we're talking about at least 2,500 years of occupation, and now this is what it's become. You can see, and there's a wall up there in the distance with some structure, but all this rubble here, a lot of it likely belonged to different structures. What a beautiful spot. So we're in the gorge at the start of it from Rumeli, which is the way they recommend not to do it, starting at the bottom here, because you have to start at the middle of the day after you get the ferry, and it is bloody hot. Very, very hot. There's a little stream at least in the middle, and when you're in the shade it's actually nice, but I don't recommend this. We're now checking out the ancient caves of Matala. They're not too sure when they date to, possibly the Neolithic according to some sources, but indisputably were used from the 3rd and 4th century as burial spots during the early Christian period. Also famous as a site for hippies coming and taking over this area in the 60s, including a famous Joni Mitchell, the singer of one of my most hated songs, Yellow Taxi. So apparently they came and actually pilfered a lot of this archaeological site and disturbed it, so I'm not too sure how I feel about that. They were eventually kicked out of the region by the locals, so there you go. But we'll check it out. Let's have a look at these caves and see where the burial sites are. So you can see these niches carved into the rocks. So the burials that were excavated, apparently there are a lot of people lying on top of each other, and this led researchers to sort of speculate that perhaps they were buried during some kind of pandemic or epidemic very quickly. Little niche spaces carved into the rock face. It's quite a large one. So maybe it's possible these are the sort of bed areas that they were talking about. And it was definitely used that way while the hippies were here, occupying the space. You can see they've coloured some of this red painted. Yeah, very interesting. I mean, if you're going to squat anywhere, it's as good a place as any. I mean, look at that view. It is summer, so it's very busy, but look at that water. Gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. Some ancient pottery.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. You don't take the artifacts.
Yeah, you don't loot.
You don't loot.
Like those bloody hippies did.
Did you hear that, Joni Mitchell? So I'm wondering where they actually found these burials, if they were in these niches here or in the grounds. I mean, these look like they could be grave spaces. Oh, wow. Freedom. Freedom to loot. Got some ancient mythos beer. Some of them are quite massive. Oh, this is interesting. These little niches carved in. Maybe for candles. Maybe for offerings.
How is it up top?
I didn't get too far because I'm a bit hungover and dizzy.
So
Are you still recording?
yeah, I'm still recording. Yeah. So
He is hungover and dizzy. So
yeah,
you can't-
there looks like there's some cool thing with little niches carved into the rocks, but it's not worth risking my neck and life for that. So I'm gonna have a swim.
Yes.
Let's go to the beach.
Beach time.
Beach time.